Do a quick video here on a rather astonishing discovery that I found out about a few months ago, and this is in regards to the temple, the ruins of the temple in Jerusalem. Uh, Here is an article depicting what they've found to be some of the remains of Solomon's temple, and this is from National Geographic. You can see what the construction looks like. Nothing out of the ordinary, just blocks that people at the time could easily handle and engineer. More on this discovery. Now, here's what I want to point out as what I would call Mandela-affected history. It's a version of history that seems to just appear out of nowhere. People I've talked to, no one has heard of this before in their entire lives, and this is in regard to what is underneath the Western Wall in Jerusalem. There's a tunnel under the wall. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Both my sisters went to Jerusalem decades ago and never knew about any such tunnel that went underneath the Western Wall. Now, what's in that tunnel? You can see a 570-ton stone is the foundation block of the Wailing Wall, and it's all part of a whole course of these stones that are down there. Now, the really astonishing thing is, beyond just the weight, you can see the size, the styling, the fact that this gigantic block is on top of a course of smaller blocks, which are still equally impressive in size, but not near 570 tons. Now look up above. What's on top? More normal-looking blocks that you would expect to find in a construction from that time period. What on earth is this? This does not look like anything that anybody from that time period was engineering, yet it is there. To get an idea of how much 570 tons weighs, it's about as much as 2 large passenger jetliners loaded. And they were supposedly moving them with, just logs and levers and whatever else they used at that time period, which that's bonkers. And apparently this was all done by Herod the Great in 19 BC as part of renovations that he did to the temple. That's when the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, was built, and that's the remaining portion that is still there today. Here's a closer look at these blocks. Just look at the relief on them. Look at how straight they are. These are mortarless joints that fit perfectly together. You can't even put a razor between them. And I don't know what these squares, these rectangular cuts are, which looks like they have like a sideways brick, and then they're mortared over with some kind of a cement or something. This is just weird looking stuff. And this wasn't done... Anyway, you can see the size of 41 feet long. Now, this is what I want to compare it to. This is another aspect of Mandela-affected history that I've never heard of. Baalbek, Lebanon. These blocks from this temple of Jupiter in Baalbek, Lebanon, weigh 800 tons. Who is moving blocks that size back then? And they're on top of a coursework of smaller blocks, just like at the Temple Mount. So whoever engineered and constructed this, I believe, are the ones who constructed those blocks at the base of the temple. So now that begs the question, what is the real narrative of the construction of the temple? It doesn't appear that Solomon was the one who did the construction. If it looked so bizarrely different between... Anyway, this is what Herod the Great built anyway. The blocks that we saw earlier of Solomon's construction didn't look anything like these giant blocks. So there was some kind of a structure here on Mount Zion before Solomon built the temple. What And who built it, I have no idea. But this is bonkers, and no one is talking about this, and I can't figure out why. Now I'm going to play part of a video from the YouTube channel Megalithomania UK. And this guy is going around the world finding all these ancient sites that I've never heard of before. Ancient megalithic sites where they're moving gigantic multi-ton stones that are expertly crafted, and I just think this is wild. And he goes to this tunnel here in Jerusalem. So this is the Western Wall. Now he's in the tunnel underneath, and now he's walking up to this giant block.
So this is it. This is the 567-ton stone, one of the foundation stones of the Western Wall of Solomon's Temple, potentially built by King Herod around 19 BC, apparently. But I don't think so. I mean, you can see
I don't think so.
And this was quarried from several miles away, probably from the Secadias Cave, which is just to the north of here. It goes all the way up here, I mean, beyond what you can see on the screen there, and then all the way along here. So this is kind of Baalbek style.
And this
further down here
isn't just one block.
What a treat to be here to witness one of the largest moved megaliths on the planet. There's actually more where JJ is beyond that.
So did you know that this was underneath the Western Wall in Jerusalem? I sure didn't, and no one else I've spoken to ever knew this either. So take a look at this, and I would love to hear some feedback. What do you think is going on? Have you ever heard of this gigantic block in this tunnel underneath the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem? What do you think was here before the temple? I mean, who built this? I've got just as many questions now as anybody else. So, yeah, take a look at all this and let me know what you think in the comments.
We have this one here. Look at this.